What is going on, guys? It's Wolfie here, and welcome back to my Blackburn save on FM15. I haven't really been playing FM due to the fact that I've now got an Xbox One, and obviously I've got FIFA 15. So I was hoping to start doing some next-gen recordings and getting some commentaries done, but nah! Amazon want to mess me about with my capture card. So it was meant to arrive, as I'm recording this episode, it is the 7th of April, yeah? Jeez, year's going quick. 7th of April, and it was meant to come between the 2nd and the 7th, and it hasn't arrived yet. So if it's not at my house tomorrow, then stuff's gonna hit the fan. Anyway, got a new mic as well that I'm using. Pretty nifty. Don't have to freaking use my headphones and all that nonsense and all that jazz. I can just talk. It's just on the stand. I can just talk. It's awesome. Anyway, so yeah, let's get into some stuff. So, what has been happening with Blackburn? Well, as you can see on this little thing here, we are on the 31st of January 2015, which means I've played about 2 months or 2 months since you guys last saw me, and we've literally hit rock bottom. Not in terms of our performance, but in terms of the background of the club. We're in debt. Really, we were in debt, and what happened is now that we can't even buy any players until the summer transfer window opens, which is quite annoying. So I wasn't able to buy anyone in January, but unfortunately I had to sell a few players. So one player in particular that was out of my control, just to balance out the finances and stuff, and it's been really difficult. I was expecting, I was like, oh yeah, cool, January's coming around, I can sign some players. Nope, just didn't happen. It didn't happen. Got a banned. We're not allowed to sign any players until the end of May, I think. And hopefully we will be in the Premier League. By the looks of it, at the moment, we probably will be in the Premier League. But it's just very frustrating in terms of getting the finances back up and where we wanted them to. And obviously there are a few players that have left the club that I will show you in a minute. But yeah, yeah. So, that's a bit of a shocker, ain't it, on your screen? Jordan Rhodes has left us to join CSK Moscow for 7.5 million, I think. Out of my control. He was on a lot of wages. The board felt he was the player that was consuming the most wages. Of course, if it was down to me, I wouldn't have sold him. I would have let the club go in debt because this guy has been a machine for Blackburn as to date. You can see here he had 26 appearances, 25 goals, 8 assists, 9 player of the matches, an average rating of 7.57. In total, he had 30 games, 30 appearances, 26 goals, 9 assists, 9 player of the matches, and an average rating of 7.45. So he has been absolutely fantastic for us this season. I felt as if he stayed, he would have probably broken his top goal scoring tally, which was at Huddersfield in 2011 to 2012. But unfortunately, we had to sell him, out of my control. So yeah, that was the first player to leave us in January. Another player who was heavily linked with Sheffield Wednesday, and they actually put in a bid for him, was Craig Conway. And he didn't want to leave, but again, I had to. This was a deal that was in my control, but at the age of 29, regardless, I had to sell him anyway. Yeah. With the finance, it was all down to the finance. I mean, if I could have gone into the Premier League with some of these players, especially Jordan Rhodes, I would have kept them, but unfortunately, like I said, everything was out of our control and we just had to recuperate more money, and the only way to do that was to sell him. So he left us for a fee of, I think it was £2 million. So it's below his asking price, but we were desperate, and yeah, it's a bit annoying, but yeah, that's happened. So Craig Conway has gone to Sheffield Wednesday for £2 million. For £2.8 million, Rudy Castide has gone to Norwich City. He's been linked with Norwich for probably half of the season that we hadn't played him. He was just sitting in the bench because Jordan Rhodes remained fit. He's got great natural fitness as well, as you probably saw in some of his stats. So he didn't really need to come off, or I didn't really need to not play him. Rudy Castide did play some games for us, but just failed to make any sort of impact in games. As you can see, he had 3 starts, which were all cup games. He had 1 goal, 1 assist, and that was it. An average rating of 7.87. But you can see here, the previous manager had a lot of faith with him, I guess. But for me, it just didn't really. I didn't really need to play him because of Jordan Rhodes. But he's gone to Norwich for £2.8 million or £2.9 million. I forgot what I just said. But yeah, not really a loss in my opinion because I was going to sell him regardless. But it's a bit of a loss losing him to a team that is literally right underneath our tail. So yeah, I just hit my mic. So probably that was a bit of a muffle. Grant Hanley, this freaking peasant. No, I'm joking. No, Grant Hanley was moaning about first team football for since probably October, and it was just bringing the team morale down. I know he is a very strong and talented midfielder. By the stats you can see, he's got 20 aggression, 20 bravery. Some of the key stats there for him suggest that he's going to be a very strong defender, especially when he gets to the age of 20. I'd say probably 27, 28. But unfortunately, he didn't want to stay at the club. I did promise him that we would play him in the future, but at the moment he wasn't in my first team football plans, and he obviously was like, "Nah, mate, if I'm not in your first team football plans, I'm gone." So Middlesbrough put in a bid of 300k, and I think it's Is it 300 or 800? I think it's 300 or one of the two. I really can't remember. My memory's so bad at the moment. I'm so tired. So yeah, he's gone to Middlesbrough for one of those fees. Sorry, the Grant Hanley deal was 900k. He went to Middlesbrough for 900k. I thought so. I would not sell a player for 300k. No way. Especially at the age of 23. So yeah, next another player to leave us was Tommy Spur, who was complaining about first team football as well. Bournemouth came in for a bid for him, and we just accepted because we weren't going to play him. I really was not going to play him. Hanley, I was definitely going to play in the future, but Tommy Spur, I was really not going to play. So yeah, he's gone out, and again, just freeing up the space on the wages, freeing up space in the financial area as well, which is what we need. The Tommy Spur bid, Tommy Spur sale was £1 million, and the last player to leave us was Jan Sanogo for 20k. Yes, 20k. He went to Sheffield Wednesday. Again, another player complaining about first team football, and we did, promise him that he'd play in in a few games and here and there, and we did do that, but it just wasn't enough for him, and I guess he felt that he could be a star player for another club, and he's gone to Sheffield Wednesday for 20k. Yes, 20k. So that has been all the out. So yeah, in total we recuperated £13.75 million. Obviously in total we spent nothing because we can't sign anyone, which is a bit of a bummer, but that is that for this episode, literally, because all I wanted to take you through was just what's been happening in terms of the background stuff. So if you look at the squad at the moment, it is very small, very small, and as you can see in terms of the ages, I've obviously had to bring up some players from the under 21s, which is good because it allows me to focus on developing the youth players, so when we're in the Premier League, at least they can be backup options and I won't have to spend that much money. So we've got Connor Mahoney, who's come up from the under 21s, Hyuga Tanner, who's come up from the under 21s, John O'Sullivan, who was playing at the start of the season but unfortunately suffered an injury and so was out of the first half of the season, but he's back now, which is awesome. I need to take him off the loan list. Same with Hyuga. Dean Rittenberg has also come up from the under 21s as well, so another English player that we can try and develop into a decent player at least. And that's it for now. I don't really think I have anyone else in the under 21s that I can bring up, unfortunately. Let's just take a look quickly. Mark Edgar, but I don't think we need another left back at the moment anyway, so yeah. So yeah, that is that, guys. That is that. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode. In the next episode, I will be taking you through our recent fixtures and results and stuff. Yes, we are still first in the Sky Bet Championship, or we are first now in the Sky Bet Championship if we weren't in the last episode. So yeah, if you guys have enjoyed the episode, be sure to leave a like. Let me know what you think about our chances of getting a nice budget in the Premier League if we do get promoted. And I'll see you for the next episode. Peace.